China has long been viewed as a global economic titan, boasting high growth rates, impressive infrastructure, and an expanding middle class. However, the country's rapid ascent has now come to a screeching halt, and the signs of a collapse are too substantial to ignore. Beneath the surface of China's booming urban landscapes and vast manufacturing sector lies a nation struggling with massive internal problems. From the sudden and eerie appearance of ghost cities, to a rapidly declining birth rate, skyrocketing debt, and growing social unrest, China's economic future is uncertain, and the global consequences could be profound. In this video, we'll uncover 17 facts about China's collapse that sound too wild to be true, but are 100% real. These facts reveal an economic and social unraveling of a country that was once the world's factory and is now facing numerous challenges that threaten its global dominance. Whether you're an investor, a global affairs enthusiast, or simply curious about what's happening in the world's second-largest economy, this video will give you an eye-opening look at the truth behind China's fall from grace. 17 facts about China's collapse, explained in detail. 1. Over 50 ghost cities. China has built over 50 ghost cities, entire urban areas with modern amenities like high-rise apartments, roads, shopping malls, and schools, but with little to no residents. These cities were part of an ambitious urbanization plan fueled by a speculative real estate bubble. The idea was to drive GDP growth by constructing vast new cities. However, many remain abandoned, serving as eerie monuments to the consequences of oversupply, poor planning, and a reliance on unsustainable growth models. These ghost cities highlight the growing disconnect between China's rapid construction and actual demand. 2. Real estate market collapse. Real estate has long been a cornerstone of China's economic success, representing nearly 30% of GDP. But now, the housing sector is collapsing under its own weight. Giants like Evergrande and Country Garden have defaulted on billions in debt, causing a ripple effect across the economy. This collapse has left millions of homeowners with unfinished properties and unpaid mortgages, plunging the real estate market into disarray. With so many investments tied to property, the failure of the real estate market is leading to massive wealth loss and economic instability for ordinary Chinese citizens. 3. Youth unemployment above 20%. China's youth unemployment rate recently surpassed 20%, and this number may actually be higher, as the government stopped publishing data on youth joblessness in 2023. Millions of educated young people, especially university graduates, face limited job opportunities in an economy where the tech and manufacturing sectors are shrinking. This demographic is struggling with underemployment or no employment at all, leading to widespread frustration. The lack of job security is also contributing to China's increasing lying flat movement, where young people opt out of the traditional career race altogether. 4. China's aging population. China's population is aging at an alarming rate. After decades of the one-child policy, the country is now facing a shrinking workforce. The working-age population is rapidly declining, and by 2030, more than 1/4 of the population will be over 60 years old. This demographic shift places immense pressure on China's social welfare system and threatens long-term economic productivity. As the number of retirees grows, the ability to support them with an adequate workforce becomes more difficult, slowing economic output and fueling fears of an impending demographic crisis. 5. Middle-class wealth erosion. In China, 70% of household wealth is tied up in real estate. As property values have plummeted, so has the wealth of the middle class. Millions of Chinese citizens have seen their life savings evaporate as their property investments become worthless. With fewer assets and an unstable housing market, the middle class is shrinking, and economic inequality is widening. This wealth erosion is not only painful for families but also poses a threat to social stability. 6. The disappearance of tech billionaires. China's tech industry has long been a symbol of its innovation and global influence. But in recent years, several high-profile tech billionaires have either gone missing, been silenced, or faced legal trouble. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, was notably disappeared from public view after making critical remarks about China's financial system. Other entrepreneurs have faced crackdowns, arrests, and forced government takeovers of their companies. This chilling trend sends a clear message to China's entrepreneurial community. Success is risky when the government is watching your every move. 7. Massive local government debt to fuel its infrastructure boom and urbanization projects. China's local governments borrowed massively, accumulating trillions of dollars in debt. Many of these loans were used to fund real estate projects that never delivered returns. Now, these local governments are facing a debt crisis, with little revenue to cover their obligations. Some have resorted to delaying government salaries or cutting public services to stay afloat, creating resentment among citizens. The government's attempts to control the debt crisis are only adding to the economic uncertainty. 8. Slowing GDP growth. China's once rapid growth rate is slowing significantly. While it once boasted double-digit GDP growth, the country now struggles to maintain even 4–5% growth. This is concerning for a country whose economic model relied heavily on rapid expansion, debt-fueled investment, and exports. With growth decelerating and challenges mounting, China faces an uncertain future where sustaining high levels of growth may no longer be feasible. 9. Exodus of foreign companies. In recent years, foreign companies have been pulling out of China at an increasing rate. U.S. companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Intel have moved production to other countries like India, Vietnam, and Mexico to avoid the rising costs and political instability in China. The ongoing trade war with the U.S. and increased labor costs have made China less attractive to international investors, hurting its position as the world's manufacturing hub. 10. Declining manufacturing jobs. Manufacturing, once the backbone of China's economy, is facing significant decline. Automation and the offshoring of jobs to lower-cost countries like Vietnam and India have drastically reduced the number of available factory jobs in China. This shift has led to unemployment in many regions where manufacturing was the primary industry. The loss of these jobs, combined with growing automation, contributes to economic stagnation in key industrial sectors. 11. China's birth rate has fallen to a historic low. Despite ending its one-child policy in 2015, China's birth rate has continued to plummet. Young people are increasingly delaying or avoiding having children due to the high cost of living, fierce work pressures, and limited social support. In 2022, China's birth rate fell to its lowest point in history, creating a generational gap that will have long-lasting consequences on its workforce and overall economic health. 12. The rise of Tang Ping and Bai Lan movements. The Tang Ping, lying flat, and Bai Lan, let it rot movements are growing social trends among China's youth, who are rejecting the traditional pressures of work and society. These movements reflect a rising sense of hopelessness among young people who feel the system is rigged against them. Instead of striving for success in an overworked and competitive society, many are opting to drop out and lie flat, disengaging from the expectations placed upon them. 13. Censorship is stifling innovation. China's strict censorship laws and surveillance system are crushing creativity and innovation. Entrepreneurs, scientists, and academics are stifled by a climate of fear and repression. Many of the country's brightest minds are either leaving China or choosing not to pursue groundbreaking work, stalling the development of new technologies and ideas. 14. The education system is causing social strain. China's education system, which emphasizes rote learning and intense competition, is causing widespread mental health issues and stress among students. High exam pressures, combined with soaring tuition fees, make education increasingly unaffordable for middle-class families. Recent changes, like the ban on private tutoring, have disrupted entire industries and left many families scrambling for solutions. 15. Xi Jinping's power consolidation. Xi Jinping's move to eliminate term limits and consolidate his power has created a climate of unpredictability and fear. Many businesses and investors fear sudden policy shifts or crackdowns, and Xi's increasingly authoritarian rule has created a sense of instability, both within China and internationally. 16. The Belt and Road Initiative is backfiring. China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative has run into problems as several countries struggle to repay loans. Instead of fostering global trade, many nations are defaulting on their debts to China, leading to criticism of the program. The failure of these projects is costing China dearly, both financially and diplomatically. 17. Nationwide protests over housing and corruption. China has experienced rare, large-scale protests as citizens demand answers on unfinished housing projects, unpaid debts, and government corruption. This has triggered an unprecedented level of social unrest in a country where public dissent is typically tightly controlled. These protests signal deep dissatisfaction with the government and the economic system. Conclusion. China's collapse may seem like an exaggeration, but the facts are clear. Its economic growth is stalling, its social contract is breaking, and its political system is becoming increasingly unstable. The ripple effects will not only affect China but the entire global economy. What happens next will be crucial, not just for China, but for the world at large.